Hey, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is having a blessed day. I really do. To all my beautiful people out there. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you and you and you and you. I'm talking to everyone. I hope everyone is having a blessed day. I'm going to go ahead and say my grace and we're going to get it in, okay? Oh, man. Today, I am coming at you from home with some Tonkotsu ramen, a lobster tail with, what did I have? The garlic herb butter. And for dessert, some muscadine grapes and some regular grapes. Seedless. The muscadine aren't though. And you know, he ain't too far behind. Designing. This little grill is courtesy of Amazon. It's a little Korean barbecue grill. And Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Canada Dry Ginger Ale, y'all. That's the only type of ginger ale I really like. I have ran across Fanta, though, which is really good. But this is the Canada Dry Bowl. This has no caffeine. I'm laughing because, speaking of caffeine, caffeine has an adverse effect on me. So if I'm drinking coffee and stuff like that with caffeine in it, I would be somewhere dozing off, taking a nap. How many of you all caffeine effects in different way? Let me know down in the comments down below. Okay, so I have my Tonkotsu ramen. Whew. That's the real ramen, y'all. Some egg leeks, and I have two gyoza in here. And the Tonkotsu ramen is bone broth. The only place I found the broth is on Amazon. And I'm showing you a picture of all of that before you see me eat. You see that? There's a gyoza in there. Or some people call them dumplings. And I have the red ginger on top for garnishing and eating. But you know, we always have to test out that broth, right? Don't tell me about noodles. Ramen noodles. Y'all know I love Asian food, particularly Japanese soba soup. Soba soups. Oh my gosh. I have those noodles as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just me, so I can use one chopstick. One pair of chopsticks, y'all. Turn him over. There's a little silver pan in the bottom of this grill, and that you're just supposed to keep some water in so it won't burn up. But look at that, y'all. I know I need to do a thumbnail. Let me see if I can do that and a dumpling. You never know what you're getting with a thumbnail, so. Mm-hmm. Have you all ever been in a situation where you have prejudged someone or you have been misjudged? You have judged someone or you have been misjudged, perhaps prematurely. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I'm going to talk about today with y'all. And you know, I love to check out the comments, and I love to see where you all are coming from as well, and what has happened in your life. And by us sharing our stories, the stories that you can, actually share or are able to share, by us sharing our stories, it helps someone else out there, whether you believe it or not. Even if it helps one person, I would gladly take that W. Mm-hmm. You know, at one time I used to feel like, man, I should get a t-shirt that says misunderstood, because I used to feel like people misunderstood or misconstrued the replies that I would give them. But then now I'm figuring out really that it's not so much as they misconstrued it or misunderstood it. It's just that they didn't want me to give them I didn't give them the reply that they wanted to hear. Let me tell you about the time that I've judged someone, and I've judged someone based, maybe based off of their looks, or, well, I'll just tell you a few incidents. Yeah. I moved into this neighborhood when I was 12 years old. I told you about you all have a video. I have a video, 15 and pregnant. Y'all check it out. 15 and pregnant. So I moved into the neighborhood, and I told you that these boys was trying to vie for my attention and all that, right? Well, it was one particular boy, and my mother wanted me to, wanted me to take him in as my boyfriend. Now, mind you, I'm like 12 years old. I am really not, I'm not that interested. I was real good friends with his sisters. But anyway, he was a paper boy. And so he's a young boy with a paper route. They on their hustle back home, right? So my mother wanted me to date this guy because he had money. And I say date, and y'all know that's putting it lightly, because I'm like 12, 13 years old. Oh, that cucumber water is so refreshing. So this boy used to come when he delivered the papers, and even if he didn't have no papers to deliver, he used to come and knock on my door, knock on my parents' door, and then he would run. I come to the door, and then he then took off. Then finally saw that Oh, this guy is liking me. I'm like, oh my goodness. The judgment was, this guy was cross-eyed. He was cross-eyed, y'all. And no disrespect to cross-eyed people. Remember, I'm telling the story, and I was 12, 13 years old. Okay? Um, so, he was so cross-eyed. How cross-eyed was he? He was cross-eyed. But that wasn't the thing. He was a dark chocolate young man. He wasn't bad looking. And even the cross eyes, it wasn't so much the cross eyes, but it was his breath. The breath smelled like chitlins. His breath smelled like chitlins. Mm-hmm. Don't stand a chance with me. I'm a teeth person and fresh breath person. Mm-mm. So that was one incident to where I judged someone. Like I said, I was 12 or 13 years old. And then another one was, I was stationed here at Camp Lejeune, not at Camp Lejeune, but I was stationed here for school when I was in the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. So school was for a couple of months. And so, they had the pay phones. We had the barracks and the pay phones are around the corner. And that's, how we communicate and everything. Get our phone calls back from home, along with the person that's on duty. Well, I was at I had just got off a phone call, the pay phone from home. And this guy came around the corner. Beautiful black skin. Just very nice looking brother. Nice looking brother. And he went to converse with me. I'm getting ready to leave. And he opened his mouth. And y'all, I was just really getting into the Marine Corps. As a matter of fact, I was in school. I hadn't even gotten out into the fleet. Soon as I heard him speak, I immediately just shut down. I couldn't talk to him. Mm-hmm. You could smell the leaks. Because I said, where are you from? I said, where are you from? And he said, Mississippi. But his twang, I was like, he had a Mississippi twang out this world. And I just said, excuse me, and left. I just couldn't, I couldn't. Judging someone. And then there was a time that I was a Marine, and it was this guy, he was a Marine too. And I was getting ready to get married. Well, he was friends of both me and the ex. And, but I didn't like him. And I can't remember, I think it was because he was a womanizer. I didn't like the way he, I think it was because he was a womanizer or something. And, so my fiance at the time, he was like, yeah, my girl ain't feeling you. She don't like you. And he said, he came up to me and he was like, hey, so, I understand that you don't like me. I said, nope, I don't. hmm You heard right. But let me tell you something, y'all. To make a long story short with that one, that brother ends up giving me away at my wedding. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a book by its cover. And then when I came back here to Jacksonville and had a BMW. I had bought that gift to myself after I got my master's degree. That was my gift to myself. Okay? And when I came back, I came here to Jacksonville, and when I would date, if people know that, guys who know that I have a house or whatever, it was like, oh yeah, the judgment starts. Oh, they must be good for this. People would start to spend your money. People would put their hands in your pocket. Not literally, but how you gonna count my money or whatever? And especially not knowing that I'm out here working and struggling like everyone else, at the time and stuff. Because I always felt like just because, if you didn't have anything, just because I was going through a dry spell, and if it was not for my true friends, I would have had even a more rough time. So, what I started doing, if I wanted to date someone, and they said, well, let me pick you up your house. No, we can meet somewhere else. Because the minute they saw that you're not driving a hoopty, or that, or that you have a place to stay, they feel like they can get comfortable. No, sir, you cannot. So, y'all single ladies, hold on to your stuff. And I'm going to tell you, and if you're in a situation to where you're trying to get out peacefully. Don't warn nobody. Don't say anything. You get out peacefully, so in that way you'll get out with your life. Because earlier on in these relationships that we have, a lot of time people don't truly show themselves. They don't really show themselves. Because they're so busy having the mind frame or mindset as to, how can I please this person? What's going to make this person smile? What's going to make this person laugh? What's going to please this person? That you're really not being yourself. What time do you have to be yourself when you're trying to do everything else? That's going to be good. Oh, I had a board for that, but it's going to be good. And it's like that. Sometimes you ain't always getting what you see. And when you judge someone, judge a book by its cover, you never know what that person has been through. Like that movie, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. And she ended up having wigs on and a leg and, one leg, she's taking off half of her body parts. You see that? And it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna go down. It's about to go down. And yeah, like that. But I want to share with you all, there is a channel that I watch. There's a lot of channels, different channels that I watch, but one particularly I like to share with you all. I like for you all to go and check out. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, please excuse me. Aframax, AFRIMAX. Aframax English, and they go to Africa, and these Christians go to Africa, and they see people with different disabilities or whatever, or unique disabilities, and see how they get around. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of the stories, the main thing, I mean, they can be crippled and everything else, but they're talking about their faith in Jesus Christ and saying that everything is going to be all right. There's a story where a young man, he fell and hit some electrical wires at work, and they had to amputate both of his arms. Now, he's a young man, so it showed how he, took on a bride. Then they have another story where there's a family, people call them monkeys because their speech is slurred. They really don't have any, and as far as really communicating, and they walk like monkeys, and but they're able to understand. They're able to understand exactly what you're saying. They're not stupid or ignorant. They're just different. And they have another story that I watch where they're 100 years old dwarf family. It's like 3 or 4 males, and between them they are 100 years old, and they're dwarves. And then there's a couple of stories on there. I'm going to give you the title of each one. And I would like for you to go and check them out, or at least check one of them out. Again, it's called Afromax English. They have Afromax TV and Afromax in different African languages and stuff. So they have Afromax TV. Afromax English is the one I would like to recommend to you all. I was waiting for this to not be so hot. Ow! Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Isn't it glorious? I know it's good. I know it's good because I got that garlic butter up in there. And there's one. Okay, so there's 6 stories. I'm going to tell you. One is called Bullies Call Them Monkeys. Bullies call them monkeys. Another one is 100 years old dwarf family. The next one is bullies call him animal. Bullies call him animal. Y'all gotta watch that. Bullies call him animal. I would never give up on my husband. Love don't. What is it? Oh, love don't judge. I would never give up on my husband. Love don't judge. And then there's another story up on the Afromax that says, I would never give up on my wife. Love don't judge. Now, with the wife, oh my goodness. You know, one thing they did show with these stories is if you have some kind of physical ailment in which people could see, maybe you're stumbling around or you walking like an animal or something like that. And I lost my train of thought. But one thing, like I said about it, is they always praise God. They put God first. So you have 6 of them. Bullies call them monkeys, 100 years old dwarf family. The love story that shocked the world. That one will make you cry. The love story that shocked the world. I will never give up on my husband. Love Don't Judge. That's, with that same title. hmm hmm And I would never give up on my wife. Love Don't Judge. And bullies call him Animal. There's also another one on there that they say the man was born with 2 sexes. Y'all have to see that. And yeah, he was born with 2 sexes, and I don't know what that thing is all about there. But like I said, it's quite interesting. And people are gonna judge. Unfortunately, people are gonna judge you in a negative sense. They don't see the beauty. How many of you all see the beauty in what others deem as ugly? I found myself so many times, I've seen the beauty. And I'm going to tell you why I believe I see the beauty in people where some may not see that beauty. I'll tell you that later in the video. But I want you to look at this pic and tell me what you see. It's all about people's perception sometimes. And tell me what you see. There was a Dove beauty consultant, not beauty consultant. It's called like a Dove challenge. You know that Dove soap? It's called the Dove Real Beauty Sketches. And it's on YouTube. It's about 3 minutes long. And in this Dove challenge, there's an older gentleman. He's an artist. They're in a large room like a loft. A person comes in, a woman comes in, or a man comes in one at a time. And it's mostly women though. But say the woman a woman will come in one at a time, right? So you have this woman come in. The artist is sitting there with his, he's just doing drawings, right? But he's drawing her. So he asks her to describe herself, right? So as he's drawing, she is describing herself, and he draws it. Prior to that, like she may say, oh yeah, my nose, I have a big nose, so it's like that, or my lips are real thin, so I have thin lips. Little do she know, prior to her being drawn by this artist. She was asked to make friends with somebody in the green room, with the other people, you know, somebody else in the green room and stuff like that, right? And that person, excuse me, was also brought in to describe her. And her perception of herself and the perception that that stranger had of her, two different drawings. The drawings from the stranger's perception show the beauty. Never once talked about anything negative. Oh, that she had, her eyes are too close together, or her eyes are too far apart. Anything like that. And their pictures actually look much better than the person whose portrait it belonged to. We can be so hard on ourselves. We all have flaws. Like I said before in my video, some of us you can see our flaws, and some flaws you can't see. But one thing to know is that a flaw is a flaw. And I want to tell you that ever since I've known, I've been introduced to hobos, hookers, hoes, prostitutes, drug addicts, drug dealers, gangs, all of that at an early age. I didn't get a chance to have a childhood. But you know what? I'm not crying. But for you younger people out there, I want you to know, stay woke. Don't get to my age and then finally figure out that, that person is not for me, or that person, you know, something is wrong with this person. Why keep sitting there for years trying to figure out a person? If it ain't clicking, it ain't clicking. You know. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Me as a female, I have walked away with nothing but the clothes on my back before. With nothing but the clothes on my back before. It didn't even, nothing mattered but what I was doing at the time. And I walked away with nothing but the clothes on my back. Material stuff you can get back. And I say that I was introduced to all of that. I was introduced to all of that by my mother. All the negativity, all the things that would help you to survive or whatever. That's what I was introduced to. And so when I got in my 20s and 30s, I could say I enjoyed my life. Because I didn't have a childhood, so it seemed like I was making up for a lot of things. And this was outstanding. I don't care what you say. It was outstanding, okay? And, so, yeah. And in closing, you see Fly beautifully up there. Because, like a lot of those videos you see on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, I have a soft spot for the underdog. I have a soft spot, but I'm not ignorant to the fact, okay? I have common sense. But I have a soft spot for that person who is being or has been mistreated or abused. And I'll tell you, because me, myself, that's why I say never judge a book by its cover. Because I was one of those babies born different. I was born different. But see, I was born different, and when you're born different and you have a narcissistic mother, that makes for a recipe of nothing but pain and agony. So, only thing I can say with that, about that is, I just thank God for His grace and mercy, because without His grace and mercy and His redemption, thank God for redemption. But if it was not for His grace and mercy, forget, I don't know where I would be. I don't even know if I would exist on this earth any longer. I just thank God for, because I have a relationship with Him now. I was just baptized in 2018. Some people may say, oh, it was later in life. I'm always on time. And I thank God for that. You know, I thank God for His grace and mercy, and I thank God for professional therapy. And I have to tell you all that, especially as black folks, we don't want to go to therapy. You know, we look down upon it. I gotta tell you, excuse me, I was one of those too. I was like, take it. They say take it to church, take it to God, right? That's true. And I just thank Him. I thank Him so much. Because since experiencing God's grace and mercy, and with professional help, and with my relationship with God that I have now, things are just becoming so clear in my life. They're becoming so much more clear in my life, you know. And it is almost like a weekly, I'm always having an epiphany. Better wake up, stay woke. Stay woke. And I want to leave you with two things, okay? One is just a little quote, and one is a movie suggestion. Well, this movie is an old movie. It has Amar Ashanti. I think that's his name. This movie is called Why Me? Remember, this subject is never judge a book by its cover. This topic we'll be talking about. Why Me? It's an old movie. I want to say it was probably in the 80s or 90s. Probably the 80s or 90s. But it's called Why Me? It's, let me see if I can tell you without giving it away. I think she's an Air Force officer who's married, and she gets into a car accident in which something has to be replaced. And in replacing it, let's put it like this. She can't go out to dinner and stuff like that without feeling uncomfortable until her operation is complete. She got hurt in a car accident. So check that out. Why me? And before you go, let me tell you something. Let me get it together first. Negativity can only affect you if you're on the same frequency. So you know what you need to do? You need to vibrate higher, okay? Negativity can only affect you if you're on the same frequency. So you need to step up your game, all right? So you need to vibrate a little higher. And remember, to be good to yourself, be good to others, because character does matter. And all I can say is to God be the glory for me. I thank you all for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Did I say share? And you all have a blessed day. And I mean that. Y'all want some before I go?